Morning, everybody. Good morning. We have a very sleepy girl who needs to settle. Yeah. We need to settle, huh? Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I know you're tired. I know. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I am excited to start the new book, too. It's always fun to start a new one. There's just something about it. It's very just, the last one was so great, I hadn't read it in years. It did not disappoint. I didn't think you were going to be here today because I thought you were flying this morning. Am I wrong in that you're flying this morning? Could you text me 8:38 by any chance if you're still here? I need to DM you about getting a pre-order. Okay, pre-orders are probably going to close today, but Roxy, I did DM you about a billing issue. Tad late just because I had to finish my video, but no worries, you're not late at all. I was actually late because we had a diaper. Yeah, we had a diaper issue, so I was a smidge late myself. Yes. Thank you, Mina. I appreciate it. Okay. Okie dokie artichoke. Okay, perfect, Roxy. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. You got more slime today? That's exciting. What I was going to say was, Roxy, pre-orders will probably close tomorrow, so you should be okay on that front. But as I've mentioned previously, pre-orders are not the end of these slimes for Patreon. Pre-orders end, and then there'll still be time for Patreon people to get whatever's left before it goes to the public, so you won't get a lot. I actually don't think anyone should ever be sorry for being excited as far as I'm concerned, Isabella. But there were no gaps. That was all in Americans. No, Alex. Oh, no. Do you have other jellies coming to you, Christy? That could be a reason not to. It's pretty basic jelly. It's just, average good stuff. No funny business. Today I just hit a wall still having oh my gosh, I can't even. Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, I'm so grateful for you, Isabella. That doesn't sound good. Someone named Mark PK has invited me to join their live because they on their 18th birthday. Oh my gosh, that's too old. Too old. See, I told you she was tired. I could feel it. And all we have to do is go in our round, and then we get a nap. Right now. Today we have class. Yeah, we get to go to class this afternoon. Hopefully more babies will show up this time. We'll see. There's only one other baby last time. Yeah, if you're in love with Putty, you don't want Alice. If you're in love with Putty, you want Ursula, or you want the Red Queen, not Alice. My eldest niece got composed yesterday. Oh my god, what did they do? Can you tell me everything? I'm obsessed with toast. I almost wish that had been a thing when I was younger, but kind of not. Hey, Jillian, how are you? For Jillian and anyone else who commented on the lava slime asking for it to be their grab bag, I want you to know I can't comment to each person individually. Oh, Susan, you were one of those people also. Susan and Jillian and anyone else who wanted magma for their grab bag, when there's a thread like that, Patreon doesn't let me comment to each of you individually, so I commented to the whole thread to let you all know. I screenshot it because I wasn't at my computer, and I am going to go and DM each of you when I get to the computer, and I have enough for everyone who commented on there, so the answer is yes to everybody. So that's it. I want to see what's so cute. Hold on. I'm going to scroll up. She loves ducks and her boyfriend brought us duck. Oh, I'd be a lucky ducky. That is really cute. You are out like a light, my sweet angel. Out like a light. What would be the top 3 slimes you would recommend for beginners? Great question. Cloud. Okay, you said 3, but like Cloud and Cloud Dough both, and then Butter and Putty. Those would be the top 3. I sent you a DM about my last order before the pre-orders, but still not heard. Okay, great. Yeah, the only reason yours is delayed, Christy, is because you wanted a specialized, the cotton candy thing isn't something that I normally make, so I have to make it just for you. Otherwise, everything else is ready and I could mail the rest of your order, but because you wanted something special made, there's a delay because I have to get I didn't have any just regular cotton candy scent left, so I was waiting for that to come in the mail. But if you want to skip that one, everything else is ready to go. I have your whole order packed up. I was just waiting for that. Usually the Revival minis are just unscented, and that's why there is a little bit of a snag. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. I have other cotton candy scents right now, but not the one that you, the regular one that you wanted. I have like the other flavor ones, like I have like a blue raspberry one or whatever. What's the difference between Cloud and Cloud Dough? Great question. Cloud is the, you've probably seen me do the drizzle things with the Cloud. That's that one. It's the one that's made with inflating snow. Cloud Dough is that plus butter, essentially. Not really. It's plus clay, but more or less. Cloud Dough is really like Cloud and Butter had a baby. So that's the sitch there. Okay, we're sitting down. And Snow Butter, if anyone's wondering, is like Cloud Dough with a lot less clay. So you know how Slay has only a little bit of clay and Butter has a lot of clay? Cloud Dough has a lot of clay and Snow Butter has just a very little. It's more snow, less butter, you know? It's nice though. And often it still drizzles. Not always, but often. Wow. Do we see this? I have to go meet other parents today looking like this. Good Lord. Well, maybe, if they show up, that is. No, don't wake up. Don't wake up. Don't wake up. Don't wake up. You don't need to wake up. We'll settle. We'll settle. Mommy won't sit forward, I promise. We'll rock. Yes, we have baby class today, this afternoon. It's our second one. We had baby class last week, but only one other parent showed up. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is, right? I know, I was a little sad. I was like, oh, okay. They told me that they couldn't start the class, not like start the class at the time, but like open the class unless there were at least 5 families. So I waited like a month for the class to even start. And then they emailed me and they were like, okay, it's ready to go. Do you want to pay for it? And I paid for it, and I came, and only one other person came. I was like, wait, I thought you said that it was going to, you know, whatever. Actually, I don't know if the other parent, so because there were two of us and she was there alone, and she was obviously like, I felt bad for the other mom. She was very flustered, which is totally normal, it happens, but it seemed like she was also very frustrated with her partner, who wasn't there. Not that everyone can come to every class. He's a working dad, like whatever, he probably doesn't work from home the way my husband does. But a lot of her questions to the instructor, who was a therapist, were about how she can get her husband to help more. And so I think her seeing my husband there and like changing diapers and things, even in the class, I think made her like a little bit, because she kept asking questions and he was like, oh, well, maybe he needs you to say it like this or whatever, like trying to offer a guy's perspective, and she did not want that. It was very clear she did not want the guy's perspective. And he was like, I was just, you know, trying to offer, and I was like, yeah, no, it's not your fault. So, I mean, she didn't say it outright, Isabella. I don't think she was trying to be rude per se, but it was, I think she was definitely frustrated with her situation. Yeah. Yeah, you know, he tries, he does try. Secret husband is a let's fix this kind of person. But anyway, so guys, we finished Catching Fire yesterday. We are on Mockingjay. In case anyone hasn't seen the old covers, this is the original cover for Mockingjay. I think they've changed them now, but this is what it used to look like when it was first published, because I have the version for old people like me who got it when it first came out. It's hard to remember, all the people are different and some parents play different roles. That's right. That's completely right. I think she just wasn't prepared for her partner to play a different role. It sounded like her partner has a child from a different relationship, and that makes it hard because he is trying to juggle those two things, and that's not easy, and I feel for both of them in that situation. Yeah. And you know, he can't just stop paying attention to his older child, you know. Ooh, I can't wait to see, Susan, I can't wait to see. Parenting is hard. Parenting is hard, and parenting in a group, you know, a blended family is hard too, you know. Wait, do you guys want to hear the cutest thing on the planet? Speaking of blended families, do you want to hear the cutest thing? I almost cried. Literally adorable. So my aunt, who I'm closest to, the one who comes and watches baby girl sometimes, she's like the best aunt you could ever hope for. We've been close my whole life. The other day she was talking about it and she was like, well, you were my Zoe. Like, that's how she described it. So you guys know how I'm really attached to Zoe. She said to me, you were my Zoe. So, okay, fine. So when I was a little girl, she got remarried. She had been married long before I was born, like 15 years before I was born. She was married to, or maybe not that long, maybe it was, I don't know, like at least a decade before I was born. She was married to someone else. She had my cousin. My cousin was 14 years old when I was born, and the marriage dissolved before she was even like a toddler. So that long, you know, 12 years or whatever. And my aunt was a single mom, you know, for many years. And then when her daughter was, I believe, 17 or 18, she met the guy who would become my uncle, her current husband, and they got married. I was in the wedding. I was a flower girl, you know, I was like 5 or 6, you know, whatever. All great stuff, yada yada. And he's just been around. He's been the most amazing part of our family. I'm obsessed with him. He talks to Secret Husband. We all play games together on our phones, you know, like we do New York Times games together. He is a phenomenal guy. He's one of the best parts of our family, yada yada yada. Okay, so that's the backstory you need. Yesterday, my aunt comes over to watch my daughter while I work a little bit, and she said, guess what happened today? And I said, what? And she said, John, that's my uncle's name, legally adopted Jordana today. That's my cousin. My cousin is in her 50s, and she was an adult when her mom married this guy. She was over 18 and whatever, but he just felt really strongly, and so he asked her, and he said, like, hey, would you mind if, like, I could legally adopt you now that your dad has passed and all of that. And he really, you know, she didn't have a good relationship with her biological father, so he really was the father figure in her life forever. But he waited until her dad passed away, and then he said, can I adopt you? And she said, you know, I thought you already had all those years ago. I forgot. And she literally didn't realize that he hadn't already. And it was the cutest thing. And they went to the courthouse, and he adopted her in her 50s. How freaking cute is that? Yeah. Oh, that's adorable, Cindy. I love that. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. And I almost cried when I heard that. And he was just like, I don't want us to end this life without it being official, you know, because he's almost 80, you know? And I was like, that is literally the cutest thing I've ever heard. I was like blown away by the adorableness of it all. Because he's been her dad most of her life by all like practices, you know what I mean? Like he lived with their family, you know. I mean, just so beautiful. That's so sweet, Cindy. I'm so glad that you have that relationship. That's so adorable. My goddaughter obviously has a very good family, otherwise I would do the same. My goddaughter is that cousin's daughter, so. John is her grandpa. How lucky that guy's your grandpa, right? So anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that because I thought that was the cutest story. I love it. I love it. All right. This book was published in 2010. Speaking of 15 years ago. It is such a heartwarming, beautiful story. Let's read A Mockingjay. Mockingjay Part 1 is called The Ashes. You were 2? Oh, Isabella. Oh my. Blended families can be amazing. My dad treats my bonus kiddo like... Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, they can be amazing. Secret husband sister has a bonus child, and her parents treat that girl like she is their first grandchild, and she had been there the whole time. And like, I accidentally said that a different kid was their oldest grandchild the other day, and they were like, and they were like, oh no, what about? And then named the other kid, and I was like, you're right, I forgot, I'm so sorry, and I stand corrected. That was my bad. So yeah, real cute. All right, here we go. Chapter 1 of Mockingjay. Brace ourselves, because as you know, if you don't remember, the very end of the last book was that they were headed for District 13. Yep. I stare down at my shoes, watching as a fine layer of ash settles on the worn leather. This is where the bed I shared with my sister, Prim, stood. Over there was the kitchen table, the bricks of the chimney. Oh no, sorry, that's not what they said, right? Yeah, they were going for District 13, but there was no more District 12. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Over there was the kitchen table, the bricks of the chimney, which collapsed in a charred heap, provided a point of reference for the rest of the house. How could I orient myself in this sea of gray? Almost nothing remains of District 12. A month ago, the capital's firebomb obliterated the poor coal miners' houses in the seam, the shops in the town, and even the Justice Building. The only area that escaped incineration was the Victor's Village, and I don't know why exactly. Perhaps so anyone forced to come here on capital business would have somewhere decent to stay? The odd reporter, a committee assessed the condition of the coal mines, a squad of peacekeepers checked on returning refugees. But no one's returning except for me, and that's only for a brief visit. The authorities in District 13 were against my coming back. They viewed it as a costly and pointless venture, given that at least a dozen invisible hovercrafts are circling overhead for my protection, and there's no intelligence to be gained here. I had to see it, though, so much so that I made it a condition of my cooperating with any plans they have. Hey guys, hey Anya and Liz, we're just barely one page in, so you're good to go. Finally, Plutarch Heavensby, the head game maker who had organized the rebels in the capital, threw up his hands and said, "Let her go. Better to waste a day than another month. Maybe a little tour of 12 is just what she needs to be convinced that we're all on the same side here." The same side?
A pain stabs my left temple, and I press my hand against it, right on the spot where Joanna Mason hit me with the coil of wire. The memories swirl as I try to sort out what's true and what's false. What series of events led me to be standing in the ruins of my own city? This is hard because the effects of the concussion that she gave me haven't completely subsided, and my thoughts still have a tendency to jumble together. Also, the drugs they use to control my pain and mood sometimes make me see things, I guess. I'm still not entirely convinced that I was hallucinating that night on the floor of my hospital room when it transformed into a carpet of writhing snakes. I use a technique one of the doctors suggested. I start with simple things that I know to be true, and I work towards more complicated things. The list begins to roll in my head. My name is Katniss Everdeen. I'm 17 years old. My home is in District 12. I was in the Hunger Games. I escaped. The Capitol hates me. Peeta was taken prisoner. He's thought to be dead. Most likely he is dead. It is probably best, honestly, if he's dead. Hey, Katniss, should I come down? My best friend Gale's voice reached me through my headset, and the rebels insisted that I wear. He's up in a hovercraft, watching me carefully, ready to swoop in if anything goes amiss, and I realize that I'm crouched down now, elbows on my thighs, my head braced between my hands. I must look like I'm on the verge of some kind of breakdown. This won't do, not when they're finally weaning me off the medication. I straighten up and wave off his offer. No, I'm fine. And to reinforce this, I begin to move away from my old house and in towards the town. Gale asked to be dropped off in 12 with me, but he didn't force the issue when I refused his company. He understands that I don't want anyone with me today, not even him. Some walks you have to take alone. The summer's been a scorching hot one, dry as bone, and there's been next to no rain to disturb the pile of ash left by the attack. They shift here and there in reaction to my footsteps, no breeze to scatter them, and I keep my eyes on what I remember as the road, because when I first landed in the meadow, I wasn't careful and I walked right into a rock. Only it wasn't a rock, it was someone's skull. It rolled over and over and landed face up, and for a long time, I couldn't stop looking at its teeth, wondering whose they were, and thinking of how mine would probably look the same under the same circumstances. I stick to the road out of habit, but it's a bad choice because it's full of the remains of those who tried to flee. Some were incinerated entirely, but others probably just overcome with smoke, and they escaped the worst of the flames, and now they lie reeking in various states of decomposition, carrion for scavengers, blanketed by flies. I killed you, I think, as I pass a pile, and you, because I did. It was my arrow aimed at the chink in the force field surrounding the arena that brought on this firestorm of retribution that sent the whole country of Panem into chaos. I agree, Naisa. If I kicked that rock and it was a dead person, I would also have a panic attack. I don't know that I would come out of it as quickly as she did, or at all. In my head, I hear President Snow's words spoken the morning I was to begin the victory tour. Katniss Everdeen, the girl who was on fire. You have provided a spark that, left unattended, may grow into an inferno that destroys Panem. It turns out he wasn't exaggerating or simply trying to scare me. He was, perhaps, genuinely attempting to enlist my help, but I had already set something into motion that I had no ability to control. Yeah, I would have lost my lunch as well, Sloth, and I don't know if I would have been able to run back to 13 or crawl back. Burning, still burning, I think numbly. The fires at the coal mines belch black smoke in the distance. There's no one left to care, though. More than 90% of the district's population is dead. The remaining 800 or so are refugees in District 13, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the same thing as being homeless forever. I know I shouldn't think that. I know I should be grateful for the way that we've been welcomed. Sick, wounded, starving, empty-handed. Still, I can never get around the fact that District 13 was instrumental in 12's destruction. This doesn't absolve me of blame. There's plenty of blame to go around, but without them, I would not have been a part of the larger plot to overthrow the Capitol, or had the wherewithal to even do it. The citizens of District 12 had no organized resistance movement of their own, no say in any of this. They only had the misfortune to have me. Some survivors think it's good luck, though, to be free of District 12 at last, to have escaped the endless hunger and oppression, to the perilous mines, the last of our final headkeeper, Romulus Thread. To have a new home, all I see is sorry. This is not a doll, this is a baby. It's a 3-month-old baby. She's taking a nap. To have a new home at all is seen as a wonder, since up until a short time ago, we hadn't even known that District 13 existed. The credit for the survivor's escape has landed squarely on Gale's shoulders, although he's loath to accept it. As soon as the quarter quell was over, and as soon as I had been lifted from the arena, the electricity in District 12 was cut, the televisions went black, and the scene became so silent that people could hear one another's heartbeats. No one did anything to protest or celebrate what had happened in the arena. Yet within 15 minutes, the sky was filled with hoverplanes and the bombs were raining down. It was Gale who thought of the meadow, one of the few places not filled with old wooden homes embedded with coal dust. He herded those that he could in its directions, including my mother and Prim, and he formed a team that pulled down the fence, now just a harmless chain-link barrier with the electricity turned off, and he led the people into the woods. He took them to the only place that he could think of, the lake that my father had shown me as a child, and it was from there that they watched the distant flames eat up everything that they knew of the world. I know, same Liz. I don't know how we can get rid of them. By dawn, the bombers were long gone. The fires were dying. The final stragglers were rounded up. My mother and Prim had set up a medical area for the injured and were attempting to treat them with whatever they could glean from the woods. Gale had 2 sets of bows and arrows, 1 hunting knife, 1 fishing net, and over 800 terrified people to feed. With the help of those who were able-bodied, they managed for 3 days, and that's when the hovercraft unexpectedly arrived to evacuate them to District 13, where there were more than enough clean, white living compartments and plenty of clothing and 3 meals a day. The compartments had the disadvantage of being underground. The clothing was identical. Excuse me. The clothing was identical, and the food was relatively tasteless, but for the refugees of 12, these were minor considerations. They were safe, they were being cared for, they were alive, and they were eagerly welcomed. This enthusiasm was interpreted as kindness, but a man named Dalton, a District 10 refugee who made it to 13 on foot a few years ago, leaked the real motive to me. Well, they need you. Me. I mean, they need all of us. A while back, there was some sort of pox epidemic that killed a bunch of them and left more of them infertile. A new breeding stock. That's what they need. That's how they see us. Back in District 10, he worked on one of the beef ranches, maintaining the genetic diversity of the herd with implantation of long frozen cow embryos. He's very likely right about 13 because they don't seem to be nearly enough kids around. But so what? We're not being kept in pens. We're being trained for work, and the children are being educated. Those over 14 have been given entry-level ranks in the military and are addressed respectively as soldier. Every single refugee was granted automatic citizenship by the authorities of 13. I can definitely say it's my granddaughter and not a doll. Yes, that's exactly right. She is 100% correct. This is her granddaughter, and it is not a baby doll. That is true. Still, I hate them. But of course, I hate almost everybody, myself more than anyone. The surface beneath my feet hardens, and under the carpet of ash, I feel the paving stones of the square. Around the perimeter is a shallow border of the refuse where the shops stood, a heap of blackened rubble that has replaced the Justice Building. I walk to the approximate site of the bakery Peta's family owned. Nothing much left but a melted lump of oven. Peta's parents, his 2 older brothers, none of them made it to 13. Fewer than a dozen of what passed for District 12's well-to-do escaped the fire. Peta would have had nothing to come home to anyway, except for me. I back away from the bakery and bump into something, and I lose my balance and find myself sitting on a hunk of sun-heated metal. I puzzle over what it might have been, and then I remember Thread's recent renovations of the square. Stocks, whipping posts, and this, the remains of the gallows. Bad. This is bad. It brings on floods of images that torment me, awake or asleep. Peta being tortured, drowned, burned, lacerated, shocked, maimed, beaten. The Capitol tries to get information about the rebellion that he doesn't know, and then I squeeze my eyes shut and try to reach him across the hundreds and hundreds of miles. I send my thoughts into his mind to let him know he's not alone. But he is alone, and I can't help him. Running away from the square and to the one place that the fire did not destroy, I passed the wreckage of the mayor's house where my friend Mage lived. No word of her or her family. Were they evacuated the capital because of her father's position, or were they left to the flames? Ashes billow up around me, and I pull the hem of my shirt up over my mouth. It's not wondering what I breathe in, but who that threatens to choke me. Ooh. Ooh, that's a horrible thought. Ooh. Oh, God. Yuck. Ugh. That's enough to give you a dry mouth. Ugh. The grass has been scorched, and the gray snow fell here as well, but the 12 fine houses of the victor's village are unscathed. I bolt into the house that I lived in for the past year and slam the door closed and lean back against it. The place seems untouched, clean, eerily quiet. Why did I come back to 12? How can this visit help me answer the questions that I can't escape? What am I really going to do? I whisper to the walls because I don't know. People keep talking to me, talking. Plutarch Heavensby, his calculating assistant Fluvia Cardew, a mishmash of district leaders, military officials, but not Alma Coyne, the president of 13 who just watches. She's 50 or so, with gray hair that falls in an unbroken sheet to her shoulder. I'm somewhat fascinated by her hair, since it's so uniform, so without flaw or wisp or even a split end. Her eyes are gray, but not like those of the people from the seam. They're very pale, almost as if the color has been sucked out of them, the color of slush that you wish would melt away. What they want is for me to truly take on the role that they designed for me, as the symbol of the revolution, the Mockingjay. It isn't enough what I've done in the past, defying the capital in the games, providing a rallying point, but now I must actually become the leader, the face, the voice, the embodiment of the revolution, the person who the districts, most of which are now openly at war with the capital, can count on to blaze the path to victory. I won't have to do it alone. They'll have a whole team of people who make me over, dress me, write my speeches, orchestrate my appearances, as if that doesn't sound horribly familiar. All I have to do is play my part. Sometimes I listen to them, and sometimes I just watch the perfect line of Coyne's hair. I try to decide if it's a wig. Eventually, I leave the room because my head starts to ache, or it's time to eat, or if I don't get above ground, I might start screaming. I don't bother to say anything. I just simply get up and walk out. Yesterday afternoon, as the door was closing behind me, I heard Coyne say, "I told you we should have rescued the boy first," meaning PETA, and I couldn't agree more. He would have been an excellent mouthpiece, and who did they fish out of the arena instead? Me, who won't cooperate. Beatty, an old inventor from 3 who I rarely see because he was pulled into the weapons department the minute that I could sit upright. Literally, they wheeled his hospital bed into some top-secret area, and now he only occasionally shows up for meals. He's very smart and very willing to help their cause, but not really firebrand material. And then there's Finnick O'Dare, the beep-boop symbol from the fishing district, who kept PETA alive in the arena when I couldn't. They want to transform Finnick into a rebel leader as well, but first they'll have to get him to stay awake for more than 5 minutes. Even when he's conscious, you have to say everything to him 3 times to get to his brain. The doctors say it's from the electric shock he received in the arena, but I know it's a lot more complicated than that. I know that Finnick can't focus on anything in 13, because he's trying so hard to see what's happening in the capital to the girl Annie, the mad girl from his district who's the only person on earth he truly loves. Despite the serious reservations that I had to forgive Finnick for his role in the conspiracy that landed me here, he is, at least, had somewhat of an idea of what I'm going through, and it takes too much energy to stay angry with someone who cries so much. I move through the downstairs on Hunter's feet, reluctant to make any sound. I pick up a few remembrances, a photo of my parents on their wedding day, a blue hair ribbon for Prim, a family book of medicinal and edible plants. The book falls open to a page of yellow flowers, and I shut it quickly, because it was PETA's brush that painted them. What am I going to do? Is there any point on doing anything at all? My mother, my sister, and Gail's family are all finally safe, and as for the rest of 12, people are either dead, which is irreversible, or protected in 13, and that leaves the rebels of their district. Of course, I hate the capital, but I have no confidence that my being the Mockingjay will even benefit those who are bringing it down. How can I help the districts when every time I make a move, it results in suffering and loss of life? The old man that was shot in District 11 for whistling, the crackdown on 12 after I intervened in Gale's whipping, my stylist, Cinna, being dragged bloody and unconscious from the launch room before the games. Plutarch's source believes that he was killed during interrogation. Brilliant, enigmatic, lovely Cinna is dead because of me. And I push the thought away because it's too impossibly painful to dwell on without losing my fragile hold on the situation entirely. What am I going to do? To become the Mockingjay? Could any good I do possibly outweigh the damage? Who can I trust to answer that question? Certainly not that crew in 13. I swear now that my family and Gale are out of harm's way that I could run away, except for one unfinished piece of business. Peeta. If I knew for sure that he was dead, I could just disappear into the woods and never look back. But until I do, I'm stuck. I spin on my heel at the sound of a hiss. In the kitchen doorway, back arched, ears flattened, stands the ugliest tomcat in the world. Buttercup, I say. Thousands of people are dead, and he's survived, and he even looks well fed. On what? He can get in and out of the house through a window that we left ajar in the pantry. He must have been eating field mice. I refuse to consider the alternative. I squat down and I extend a hand. Hey, come here, boy. No, not likely. He's angry at his abandonment. Besides, I'm not offering food, and my ability to provide scraps has always been my main redeeming quality to him. For a while, when we used to meet up at the old house because we both disliked the new one, we seemed to be bonding a little. Well, that's clearly over. He blinks those unpleasant yellow eyes at me. Do you want to see Prim? I ask, and her name catches his attention because besides his own, it's the only word that means anything to him, and he gives a rusty meow and he approaches me. I pick him up, stroking his fur, and then I go to the closet and I dig out my game bag and unceremoniously stuff him into it. There's no other way that I'll be able to carry him on that hovercraft, and he means the world to my sister. Her goat lady, an animal of actual value, has unfortunately not made an appearance here. In my headset, I hear Gale's voice telling me that we must go back, but the game bag has reminded me of one more thing that I want. I sling the strap of the bag over the back of the chair, and I dash up the steps to my bedroom. Inside the closet hangs my father's hunting jacket. Before the quell, I brought it here from the old house, thinking that its presence might be of some comfort to my mother and my sister when I was dead. Hi. Are you okay? You can sleep some more. Thank goodness, or it would be ash now if I'd left it in the seam. The soft leather feels soothing, and for a moment I'm calmed by the memories of the hours spent wrapped in it, and then inexplicably my palms begin to sweat. A strange sensation creeps up the back of my neck, and I whip around to face the room, and I find it empty. It's tidy. Everything is in its place, and there was no sound to alarm me, so what then? My nose twitches. I know. Okay, you want to come out of the wrap? Okay. You can come out. You can come out. You can come out. You can come out. Yeah, you can come out. You're not a baby doll, are you? Baby dolls can't do that, huh? Baby dolls can't do that. This is an important page, so I'm going to go back a little so that it's not interrupted. The soft leather feels soothing for a moment. I'm calmed by the memory of the hours spent wrapped in it, and then inexplicably, my palms begin to sweat. A strange sensation creeps up the back of my neck, and I whip around to face the room, and I find it empty. It's tidy. Everything is in its place. There is no sound to alarm me, so what then? My nose twitches. It's the smell. Cloying and artificial, a dab of white peeks out of a vase of dried flowers on my dresser. I approach with cautious steps. There, all but obscured by its previous cousins, is a fresh white rose, perfect down to the last thorn and silken petal, and I know immediately who has sent it to me. President Snow. When I begin to gag at the stench, I back away and I clear out. How long has it been here? A day? An hour? Did the rebels... What's the matter, honey? You don't like President Snow? The rebels did a security sweep of the victor's village before I was cleared to come here, checking for explosives, bugs, anything unusual, but perhaps the rose didn't seem noteworthy to them. Only it does to me. Downstairs, I snag the game bag off the chair, bouncing it along the floor until I remember it's occupied. On the lawn, I frantically signal to the hovercraft while Buttercup thrashes. I jab him with my elbow, but this only infuriates him. The hovercraft materializes, and the ladder drops down, and I step on, and the current freezes me until I'm lifted onto the board. Gale helps me from the ladder. Are you all right? Yeah, I say, wiping the sweat off my face with my sleeve. He left me a rose. I wanted to scream, but it's not information I'm sure I should share with someone like Plutarch looking on. First of all, because it will make me sound crazy, like either I imagined it, which is quite possible, or I'm overreacting, which will buy me a trip back to the drug-induced dreamland that I was trying so hard to escape. No one will fully understand how it's not just a flower, not even just President Snow's flower, but a promise of revenge, because no one else sat in the study with him that day when he threatened me before the victory tour. Positioned on my dresser, that white as snow rose is a personal message to me. It speaks of unfinished business, and it whispers, I can find you, I can reach you, and perhaps I'm watching you, even now. Ooh. Hoo 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 hoo. Hoo 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 hoo. All right, I was just checking to see how long, because we started a little late today because we had the diaper issue. I don't think we're going to be able to get through the next chapter today because I do have to do work and then take her to class. And I want to do a slime live tonight, so I need to pack up bins of slime to empty those bins, huh? Yeah. So speaking of the doll thing, while we have a minute, I wanted to talk about one other thing that I find really weird. So I've been getting a lot of comments on, you guys know the Pluffle video that has caused so much of a kerfuffle in the world because it got like almost 1 million views. So like a lot of people have seen it, but it's okay. So it's this weird thing, right? Because a lot of the comments I get are really angry about the fact that I said in the video that I purchased the slime, or not the slime, the Pluffle for an experiment. What's the matter, sweetheart? You want to go on your bouncer while we chat? You can go on your bouncy. Look at this. Look at this koala butt. Whoop, 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 whoop. Woo. So here's the thing that they don't like. So a kerfuffle. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. So in the video, if you guys have seen it, which I'm sure you have, I said I bought this Pluffle stuff to try. And you know what? The actual truth of the Pluffle stuff, I'm going to tell you guys what actually happened. Before Christmas, I bought the Pluffle to give to Zoe and Ethan as a Christmas gift. But Ethan had not yet grown out of putting stuff in his mouth. So I didn't give it to them and I bought them something else instead. So I bought that stuff that long ago, before Christmas. And then I just had it sitting in the slime room waiting for them to get old enough to play with it because he was still putting stuff in his mouth and I didn't want to give it to him yet, right? And so when Roxy came on here and she was like, hey, do you think that Pluffle mixes with slime? I was like, you know what? I don't know, but I have some. Literally, this is the train of thought that happened, okay? The company never reached out to, literally, this is the train of thought that happened, okay? The company never reached out to me. Sorry, I got a call from New York, which is weird, that turned off my thing. I didn't buy it with the intention of putting it in slime. I didn't buy it with the intention of making a video or any of that stuff. I bought it to gift to them, but it didn't work out. So when Roxy said, do you think it mixes with slime? I said, let's find out, right? So I did that video. I said in the video, hey, I bought this a long time ago and someone asked me today if it mixes with slime, so let's do it. TikTok, for some reason, put at the bottom of the video, creator earns commission, probably because it's available in the TikTok shop. But my video doesn't earn anything, not even from video views, because it got reported so many times for pronouncing Pluffle wrong that I don't even earn video view money from that. I wish I had, because the amount of views on that video would have earned me like $500, but I have received goose egg from that video. I have $0.00 on that video because of whatever. So not only do I not have a deal with the company, they got me, everyone angry at me because I pronounced Pluffle wrong because they put it on the FYP or whatever, but they're they're disqualifying me from those things. It's actually insane. But then so all of those things are true. But to this day, I can't think of another, I mean, they must be reporting it, right, Claire? Otherwise, why would it have been flagged? I didn't say anything bad in it, you know what I mean? So even if they didn't report it, I get comments even as recently as like 1 hour before book club. I got a comment on that video of someone telling me that I'm breaking the law by not disclosing an ad in that video. Guys, there's not an ad in that video. There's no ad to disclose. I bought the product with my own money, and I don't have a deal with that company. Like, it's blowing my mind that they're still doing this. But what I wanted to say, yes, okay, and they were like, well, it says creator earns commission. I was like, okay, first of all, that's just a tag that TikTok puts on things. I can't control that. But. Let's just pretend for 1 minute, let's just pretend that I actually was earning commission on that video, okay? I don't. I can show you the back end. We're at $0.00 for that video. But let's just pretend for a second that I am a small business owner who is a new mom and just makes funny content sometimes. Let's pretend that all that's true, and for some reason, this ginormous company is actually giving me a little bit of commission. Why are we mad about that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Like why are you angry that someone who doesn't have a lot is getting something? You know? That's the part I don't understand. I am not a wealthy person. And it's so weird, even if I had collaborated, even if I was getting money from that video, which I'm not, why does that hurt them? They aren't, but like, it's so bizarre to me. Like, it's so strange to me that people, it's so weird. I see people earning commission from videos all the time. It doesn't upset me. I'm like, get that bag, girl. Especially when it's someone who's just trying to get by with their kids or their life, even if they don't have kids. Yeah, right. You want to talk? We should stay here long enough for you to talk. There are definitely influencers who are millionaires who shill all sorts of wackadoodle products. Pluffle's not even that. It's just a toy for kids or whatever, you know. It's just weird. I find it weird too. I always try to buy anything. Yeah, same, Heather. Like, that's the thing. If one of my friends can earn commission from something that I purchase, I will purchase it from their video. For sure. Every time. Even if it costs me a little more. Because, yeah, misery does love company. It's so weird. And you guys have seen, like, even on my Patreon, which I worked really hard to build up, I talk about my friends who have other things. We have an entire chat just for everyone to brag about their own businesses and stuff. If they make crafts or homemade stuff or whatever. I know. Like, tearing other people down is not building me up. We can build up together. We can all succeed. We're not in competition. And that includes other Slimers. I talk about other Slimers all the time. I was talking about Dope Slime's company on my live yesterday and telling everyone to buy from him. I tell people to buy from Mina and Lorenzo all the time. You know? It's so weird to me that people don't want people to succeed. It's so bizarre. I know. It's weird, huh, honey? The thing is, there is so much more that matters than that. I completely agree, Claire. You think it's funny? Oh, are we so lucky to be honored by your laugh right now? What do you want to say? We got lucky to catch it on camera, huh? You never want to laugh when the camera's on. Go ahead, do it. Say something. Yeah? Uh-huh. Everyone thinks you're a doll, but you're not. You're a real baby, huh? You're a real baby. You're perfect, baby. Do you want to say hello? Uh-huh. Hello. Uh-huh. Tell us more. Ah. Ah. Good. Good morning, my angel. Absolutely, Amber. I think you're right about that. She's so precious. Her voice and her laugh are precious. Do you want to say something? Okay. Hello. Ah. 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 Oh, oh, oh. you want to stay in the bouncer or do you want to come up here? Do you want to keep talking? Do you want to talk? Did mommy take off your beloved wrap? It's okay, we can put it back on. You can lay in my lap. Come here. Okay, what do you want to say? What do you want to say? What do you want to say? Now that you're here, you don't want to talk anymore? Can you say, hello? Hi. 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 Hi, hi. Uh-huh. Keep trying. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing... I know, right? She's like, I have nothing else to say. Yeah. Mommy's hair is struggling. What is going on here? I need to, like, pin this piece back up. Okay. Okay. You want to show them what the other day Mommy tried to put her bangs on your hair and you thought it was so funny? Remember that? Remember that? Did you think that was silly when Mommy put her bangs over your hair? You don't think that's silly anymore? You thought it was silly the other day. Yeah? Do you want to sit up? You want to sit up, huh? Hi. Oh! Uh-huh. What else? What else? Say more. Yeah. You can say more. That was really good. That was really good. It was so close to a hi. That was really good. Yeah. That was really good. Okay, let's sit here. You want to sit this way so you can see Mama? Hi. Hi. Hi, my beautiful angel. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, my sweetheart. Good morning to you. Yeah. What else do you have to say? Do you have anything else you want to say? They think you were the best addition to our book club ever. You're the best member we've ever had. Yes, you are. That's it? You're all done talking? You can be all done. That's okay. You hear Mommy's tummy grumbling. Mommy's hungry. Are you hungry? What about kisses? What about those kisses? She does this hilarious thing. So my husband always, whenever he has her on the changing table, he always goes, how about kisses? And he goes, and then he says, can I have a kiss? And he puts his cheek to her mouth. So now she thinks you're supposed to do that when she's on the changing table. So now anytime she's on the changing table, she goes and waits for you to come so she can give you a kiss. Huh? You want to give Mommy a kiss? Mwah! Oh, thank you. Oh, you like that. You thought that was silly. Do you want Mommy to give you kisses? Yeah? Yeah? Do you want to give Mommy a kiss? Mwah! Oh, thank you. Thank you for kisses. Thank you. You like that? You think that's silly? Yeah? You do? Okay. Should we go? Should we go get ready for the day? We gotta find your jacket that matches this outfit so you can wear it to your class. Because look at how cute it is. We got a little koala butt. We got a koala butt. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Hopefully we will be able to do a slime live tonight. I think we should be able to. Yes, koala butt. Boop. It's got koalas on this part and koalas on the pants. We should be able to do a slime live tonight. Have a safe flight, Anya. We will be, you know, keeping up with your photos and stuff because I can't wait to see what I've never been there. So if anyone doesn't know, Anya is traveling to Europe today. She's going to all countries I've never been to, including Poland and possibly Sweden and some others. So if you want to follow her journey, I bet she's going to post photos. Huh? Huh? Do you want to see pictures of Poland and Sweden? She said, I don't know what that means. Oh, I can't wait to see it, Cindy. Thank you. All right. Bye, guys. See you later.